2023 campaign. The head-to-head in terms of the tail of the table is in favour of Lin here overall. They've met a couple of times, as you can see. It was the World Championships in Houston, round of 64 a couple of years ago. Lin winning that 11-4 in the 7th after being 3-1 up on Kallberg and also beating him at the contender Novo Mesto in quarterfinals 3-1. Hassan Al-Amri back as our main umpire here. One of two remaining round of 16s here in the draw here in Doha. The top 16 on the season, the 2023 season. As well as, of course, we will be turning our attentions on days 2 and 3 to the top 8 men's doubles pairings as well. Here, they could start on day 2. The focus here on the opening day on the likes of Lin. In terms of the singles standouts, 16 of them, and here are 2 more of them that will join in now for the coin toss. Start for the Chinese there. It's the coin toss, the spin of the coin, Lin Gaoyuan.
Trận này có 2 tin là có bất ngờ xảy ra không ạ? Quang Hiếu đang cho rằng là sẽ có bất ngờ.
Two more elite athletes to go head to head here. And it's the same duo in the commentary box here, Guy and Fraser with you. This is an intriguing match in many ways. I mean, we look at the Swedes, so much talk in the last couple of years about Troels Morgard, but it's the Swede Anton Kallberg here who's involved in the final 16 here. What do you make of his season?
I mean, it's been solid, don't get me wrong. He was one a contender. Had a good event in Bangkok, beating Liang Jinquin, where, of course, Lin Gaoyuan ended up becoming Triple Crown champion and winning. Yeah, he's had a good season. Don't get me wrong, it's not been the best season. He's definitely profited, actually, from being a little bit lower ranked and not being in these events, which has incentivized him to play more contenders, where he's managed to kind of creep up here to this level.
Yeah, all about winning matches at the end of the day, whatever level it's at. This is what they're playing on, with and for this week. 1,500 ITTF World Ranking points. Particularly stands out to the champion here. Talk about Kallberg, where he's at one of the last to qualify. You say he's had a very good season actually. His win percentage about 10% higher than his career average. Looking at his numbers, and his numbers are good in terms of the fan vote as well for the Dark Knight. Has many fans. Doing well there on that vote, where you can sign up and cast your vote, get involved at worldtabletennis.com. Find out about all the things Fraser's just been talking to you about as well in terms of results on the season. If you want to dip into the bios of the players, all the behind the scenes action, our digital team as well, across our social media channels, we have you covered here at World Table Tennis, including this week, of course, in this season-ending showpiece event, the WTT Finals Men 2023 here in Doha. It's one of 2 remaining round of 16s in the singles.
First game, Kallberg to serve. Yeah. Love on.
Vâng, trận đấu tiếp theo, Anton ra bóng, Lin Gaoyuan là người đỡ ra bóng. Rất hay. Lin Gaoyuan tay vợt rồi đánh ôm bàn, đua tốc độ. Còn Anton thì đánh đều 2 càng nhưng mà ở cự ly xa hơn. Rất thông minh và giật bóng với điểm rơi khó. Mà về hơi lác. Rồi chỉnh lại chất lượng này.
Very high quality strokes. Every single one of Kallberg's strokes have spin, quality, all the good metrics, shall we say. However, he's up against someone who possesses equal quality of stroke, who's a lefty, the cat-like Lin Gaoyuan. I'm really interested to see how this one pans out. I'd be surprised to see a 3-0 to either player.
Yeah, it's funny, all the, if you like, the monikers, the nicknames that we have for the players, you know, the Dark Knight, the Golden Hands. I just think of him like a cat. Lin Gaoyuan. I keep it a lot more straightforward. I mean, cats are wonderful animals in terms of what they can do. And Lin Gaoyuan can do unbelievable things, as you say, his ability to pounce, hover around, stealthy.
And they always land on their feet.
Yes.
And no matter where he's moved to, he doesn't ever seem to be really off balance, which shows how much he's actually developed his reading of the game, the wisdom. Great point there from Kallberg, who when in position can beat basically anyone. I mean, he's even taken, you know, World Championship mode Marlon to 6 games before this player here, who was also the European Junior Champion. In that kind of Kassan era as well. Quite an iconic generation of young European players, actually, but
quality players.
Yeah, and most of them don't even get into top 50 in the world. So this shows how driven Anton is.
Yeah, talk about styles. I mean, we're just talking about Lin here and his qualities, but again as well, Kallberg is interesting. You touched on some of it there. Just in terms of traditional styles for me, you know, the traditional, he's got a bit of the traditional Swedish style, but also in the time he spent German league and everything else, there's a bit of that German, again, stereotypes, wary of them. Very much attention to detail, methods.
Yeah, mechanical, and he does have that flair. He didn't always use it, but he does have good feeling. But yeah, he has that mechanical approach of a German player in a sense, in terms of the smoothness, the way they roll over strokes, you know. A spin there, troubling Lin Gaoyuan, who for a long time seemed like his worst enemy was himself, but seems to be getting better and better, handling pressure.
Well, the massive thing for him, I mean, you make that point. We can obviously look here at the back end of this opening game, but so big for him. You talk about the Triple Crown that he managed, because that was his final after, that was so difficult, the European Summer Series champions that he lost to Harimoto with all those championship points. You saw his reaction when he won it. He's gone on to win another title since then. It was big for him, turning his career back around in the right way, in the big occasions.
You need a slow start to be a hero. You know, a hero only really prospers at the very, very end of a movie. Struggle basically throughout the whole movie. So can you imagine if he ended up winning a title like a World Championships or something along those lines? How monumental that would be, how good of a story that would be. Disputing a net here, I believe. Been sorted out and clarified. Dumps that one.
Still a lead of 2 for Lin here. Service as well.
See that, just kicks up.
He got very good purchase on his receive there. Getting some good work on this ball, Kallberg. Again there, made that very awkward. Just see the contact point for Lin.
Yeah, it's like a zip on the shot, isn't it? It's a thing to behold, and he's levelled here.
I think that's something with Kallberg as well. We come back to this hybrid nature of his development, his formative development, the mixture of styles. And what he can do, you know, the shallower ball, but also the shape he can get, different shape think comes from that kind of hybrid development. Seeing it here, these last few points, leading now. Been behind large parts of this game. 6 of the last 8. Puts him 2 away from taking the opening game. Oh, anxious moment for Lin there. That could have easily caught the edge.
My God, yeah, that would have been double devastation. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Oh, a cat's whisker. Or any whisker. I mean, whiskers don't usually differ in thickness too much.
That's true. But this deadly cat, as I like to bill him, Lin Gaoyuan, is looking to pounce here. Take the opening game off Kallberg. He's got a chance to do so here. Game point. Denied there, and mentioned that they've had some tight games in the past, their previous meetings, although Lin has won
mới đều trong ván đấu đầu tiên.
Both the matches, that
Rất
is,
căng
but
thẳng.
here
Tình huống ra bóng của Anton.
the game point and we're at 10, so 2 points needed, the winning margin. Oh, and has caught the edge there.
He misread that serve.
Yes.
It was absolutely laced with topspin.
Didn't mean that, Lin. One bit. Oh.
To be fair, he did trap a bit of the spin with the...
But not complete. I mean, that did slide away a little bit there.
Yeah.
Didn't mean... I mean, how good he is doesn't mean to catch the edge on the receive there. Or even that right at that section of the table.
Mười một đều.
There and actually brushing that under the carpet as he needed to there. I like the persona of Kallberg, the way he holds himself together. Mega professional.
Không có được sự chính
You
xác.
imagine he folds his towels nicely as well. That kind of character, you know.
Lin has had a couple of game points so far. Kallberg now with his first. The fact that Lin's won both, you've got to break matches down.
Này thì set boy thuộc về Anton.
Tight nature of the games they've played before,
Anton
and this is
cắn bước.
another one. Lin under pressure.
Lên trái không tốt.
Actually,
13-12.
contacted that a little bit
Cơ hội
differently
cho
there.
Lin Gaoyuan đây rồi.
Put less topspin on it.
Comeback nè.
What Kallberg may have thought. Let's have a look at it again. It's in general a solid flick. Bold receive.
Yeah, toughs that one out. Had to save a game point along the way, but just made a little bit more of the headway. Just a snatch of it in the end. Lin toughs out that opening game off the Swede Kallberg in the best of 5. Just that placement, the key in the end. Very little to separate them there. Kallberg with his chance, but Lin eventually takes his to take the opening game 14-12.
Lin to serve. Love all. Yeah.
Well, you look, talked about Anton Kallberg's mentality, how level-headed he is, and you need it in those situations when you've had a chance.
Anton.
And here, Lin is trying to build on edging that opening game with the start he's making here to the second, the Chinese. Those flowing strikes that he's got away from the table. So good to watch. So light on his feet as well.
1, 2.
It's funny actually, you've been around, obviously around here and watching the players, and you were making the point with Lin. I don't think this comes across in the coverage perhaps so easily, that, especially compared to some of the other players, Bill, you think he's a bit more willowy. But actually, when you're up close and personal with Lin Gaoyuan, strong.
He's strong, yeah. Barely any body fat. He's a lean, mean fighting machine. And he strikes the ball very hard. Because he goes for a lot of rotation on the vast majority of shots to ensure security on the table, you don't always see that either on coverage. But when you're up live and direct, up close and personal, you really get a sense of his raw power.
Hai tình huống liên tiếp nhưng lần này thì Anton đã tỉnh táo rồi.
To other members of the China players. With the change of ball now, you can afford to drive more, and we see that more and more. But he's still someone who, you get the sense of real spin with him, you know, rotation based.
Rất trái lại vòng quá hay. Và hơi lỡ cỡ đến từ Lin Gaoyuan và thời cơ thuộc về Anton.
Put that up for you, but a couple back here for Kallberg since then. Stretches the two again here. I think it's the point you say as well, the point you make. He can't. Our production team done an absolutely amazing job here, of course, but it's the fact as well, if you get a chance, World Table Tennis, an event rolls by close to you or where you live, you've got to watch this up close. You see.
Trận đấu tiếp theo sẽ là trận đấu giữa Wang Chuqin gặp Felix Lebrun.
If you're interested in this sport, we urge you to come along.
Well, the events are coming thick and fast as well. This is the last event of the WTT 2023 series, but the 2024 season starting next week here in Doha, the star contender. I know you'll be involved with as well. Fraser on commentary for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one.
Yes, if you are here, or the other events coming up, Goa at the end of the month, the Singapore Smash if you're in Asia in March.
Bigger selection pool and a chance to see some new upcomers.
All the different tiers of the WTT series.
That was such a nice receive from Lin there. Exaggerated the movement actually, getting that racket horizontal for that slow and spinny ball. Shallow.
7, 5.
Kallberg never makes it easy though with his serve-receive game. He used to have this kind of iconic whirlwind motion serve. He doesn't do it anymore really. Must be for a good reason.
Cú đè bóng đi ra ngoài. Đè bóng rất mạnh và lại đi ra ngoài. Ra bóng xoánh ngang rất kín của Lin Gaoyuan.
You actually, sometimes, depending on what ball it is, need to use more physicality and muscle to produce a slower ball than a faster ball. And that's something that people who don't really play don't understand.
Quá nhanh. Tốc độ của Lin Gaoyuan.
Some arcade game style table tennis, isn't it? The back and forth, the pinball machine.
Tình huống cuối cùng thì Anton vào bóng trượt.
Playing the parallels wonderfully there. Lin Gaoyuan's backhand is also another unique characteristic. There's not many like it.
7, 8.
Stamping his foot on the serve, Anton Kallberg, which masks the indication of spin. Can actually distract the opponent.
Sole rồi.
They're trying to play an extreme Chiquita flick, which, if it would have landed, would have caused a bucket load of issues for Lin, but...
Is that the right shot in the circumstances?
I don't know. It might be, but they didn't execute it, so it's very tough to say. Because, yeah, it might be the right shot to have taken on.
7-8. Game down.
It wasn't the safest. He could have kept the ball tight with a forehand touch and then maybe got an easier ball. Yeah. But realistically, we're only saying that because he missed it. It's tough sometimes to say whether it was the right shot to play, because he is capable of it. I'm leaning more towards no, though.
Yeah. 3 chances here, meanwhile, for Lin. Let's take a 2-game lead. So good from Lin. He's winning those moments, as he's done before against Kallberg. 2 up now, therefore 1 more needed in the best of 5. For the Dark Knight, the Golden Hand, the Pouncing Cat, whatever you call him, Lin Gaoyuan, to seal a spot in the quarter-final. 11-7. That second game is Lin's. 2 up now.
Là Anton tay vợt gọi là được của châu Âu thôi, chưa phải tay vợt có điểm gì đặc biệt để có thể là đánh bại được một tay vợt Trung Quốc. Chưa đến mức xuất sắc để có thể là gây đến bất ngờ. Tay vợt có thể gây đến bất ngờ, ví dụ như là Alexis hoặc là Felix Ledwin sẽ gây được nhiều bất ngờ hơn. Và đánh giá cao những tay vợt này hơn.
You visited Singapore, didn't you, for the first time?
Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, it's a metropolis. A nice mixture of commercial and natural. I enjoyed it. Haven't yet been to the Smash though, so yeah, would love to be there for that. Hint, hint.
Third game. Kallberg to serve.
Jürgen Persson, 1991
Chào
world
500
champion.
anh em đang xem nhé.
Chance again there to
Nó
talk
cũng đang hấp
to
dẫn dần lên rồi.
He finds himself 2 down here. This one.
Rất tốt.
What might you didn't hear there, but what Persson might you have been saying at 2 down here, because Kallberg's been in both games so far.
1 on.
I guess some predictability factor could be nice. Okay, yeah, it's one thing being able to strike the ball when the iron's hot, when the opportunity is there to take. But
nhưng mà tôi vẫn có dự đoán là sẽ là 3-0 cho Lin Gaoyuan.
How do you lessen their opportunity?
Chắc chỉ sợ một mã lòng.
You got to take your own and basically stop them from even having one.
Khi mà điên lên thì có thể ăn được hết. Phan Thanh Đông vẫn còn chủ quy. Chỉ có mã long là Lin Gaoyuan hơi sợ rồi. Sợ, có lẽ là sợ nhất. Mã long đánh tỉnh đòn hơn, khéo hơn.
You don't want to rely on doing it in the open rally because Lin is so spinny. He's so good off both wings, so quick.
3, 2.
Share the first 6 points of this particular game, a game that, of course, Kallberg has to win. Perhaps can draw on that World Championship meeting. You're looking around for reasons for the Swede to believe.
Yeah.
You go back to that meeting in Houston. I know Lin, this is obviously from Kallberg's point of view, Lin was winning that one in the end, but was 3-1 up. Kallberg did come back at him. Oh, it's a shame for Kallberg as well. Some real good feeling, good control prior to that.
Yeah. Nice hook forehand. Decent block, and then look at this one, side spin, but that's why they call him the golden hand. Kind of unfazed by spin at times, Lin Gaoyuan. And that is because of the way he can get his body in position to counteract the spin.
5, 4.
We have a joke in English table tennis that it's always the big guys, the kind of slightly chubbier guys, that have better feeling because they have to. They don't have that speed and physicality to do that, so they rely on sponging up and having that control. But at the top level, obviously, they've got it in abundance, and none of them are... all of them are ridiculously fit. That's why players like Charles Morgard of Sweden, who actually willingly use feeling, even when it's not an emergency situation, excite us so much, because the crowd kind of react and go, well, why would you choose to play something that's seemingly lower percentage?
8, 4.
What about this run from Kallberg here in game 3 when he needs it? The towel break now by 4. Really got that to bite off the table there. There it is, 6 of the last 8 points for Kallberg for this lead of 4.
8, 5.
It's that loose wrist, isn't it, of Lin Gaoyuan? It's almost like there's no tension in that wrist at all. And that's what makes it hard to read where he's going to go with that. It's like Pitchford as well, you know, plays with this loose backhand, this loose wrist.
Well, again there, I mean, the point you're making with Lin, how he kept the point alive there, it's the looseness as well. I mean, this is fired at him.
Yeah. That place where he put it there was one of the only places that could have stopped Kallberg from winning it. Into the middle, and the middle changes depending on where your opponent stood. He still found it.
Of course.
You know, that's like... It's not just improvisation. He's actually thinking on his feet there. Like a cat. I mean, we come back to it again, but some of the reaction time of Lin Gaoyuan, it's like he's not even thinking about that. It's all instinct. It's inert. It's evolved within him.
Yeah, timeout here predictably from Persson. That lead now back down to just 1 from 4. 3 points in a row for Lin. The reason for the timeout.
Just cũng hay, nhưng mà có một giải đấu mà Anton giành được cái danh hiệu khá cao, cho nên là Anton là được xếp vào thi đấu cho giải đấu này. Tám bảy, thời điểm khá là căng thẳng. Không còn được lùi cho Anton nữa rồi.
See whether that timeout from Jürgen Persson can do the trick for Kallberg here.
Xô lên 8 đều. Cách giờ đã không còn.
Finds himself, of course, just 3 points from the quarter-final.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
9-8 cho Anton. Và giật bóng quá mạnh. Cần nhiều hơn những tình huống như này thì mới có thể làm khó được. Đẳng cấp như là Lin Gaoyuan.
Well then.
He's got chances again here, Kallberg. He had them in the first game, remember. 2 game points here. Yeah. He'll feel he deserves that at the very least. He's been in all 3 games so far. He hangs on there and extends his opponent, extends this match at the very least into a 4th game.
Quá hay của Anton, và như vậy là chiến thắng trong ván đấu này. Cùng với Anton, rất may là không bị 3 bát. Tính đến thời điểm này chỉ có mỗi Giang Guzin là bị 3 bát thôi. Còn lại các trận đấu khác đều rất hay, có diễn biến căng thẳng. Đặc biệt là trận Gaoyuan và trận Phan Dinh Đông gặp Darko Jogic. Gaoyuan thì gặp Hugo Calderano, đều là những trận đấu rất hấp dẫn trong buổi tối ngày hôm nay. Just Tin bây giờ là cái bản lĩnh của Lin Gaoyuan giờ cũng đã cải thiện rất nhiều rồi. Không còn như ngày trước nữa rồi.
As he should do. I mean, you look at, I mentioned at the end of the previous game, all 3 games he's been in, to some extent, particularly the first, and then, of course, the 3rd game, finally getting some scoreboard reward. And the match up here.
That's the trademark there of Gaoyuan, that backhand on the toes, almost a bunny hop backhand. Distancing himself nicely, giving himself time to play that shot. Oh, but again there, burned by the step around of Kallberg, who has that quality we know. This is tough, isn't it? I mean, imagine playing every day, all day, and barely even being allowed to rally once you qualify as a top 16 player across the entire season. That's the beauty of the shot game. That's the beauty of being able to keep the ball tight against basically every ball apart from an attack. You are drawing impatience out of your opponent, to the extent that even if it does get to the open rally, they're like, what's this?
Well, you're out of rhythm. I mean, at that point, you're not going to have to build any.
Exactly.
Yeah, you often say it's about making it as uncomfortable of your opponent as possible, and another thing about the very best players, the Chinese national team players, what they're able to do to their opponents, make them feel so uncomfortable at the table, however talented they are.
Ui, vâng, giật thẳng vào lưới. Quá đáng tiếc cho tình huống vừa rồi. Tay vợt Trung Quốc không chỉ tấn công hay mà họ còn rất lì lợm, phòng thủ kiên cường. Cái chiến thuật mà những vận động viên Trung Quốc sử dụng rất là hợp lý, phân phối đều sức mạnh, cũng như là lúc nào cần chính xác thì sẽ cần chính xác.
Slightly slower serve, wasn't it, that? And also slightly wider. Double trouble.
Khó rồi. Nhìn cái tư thế đứng của Anton đã thấy hơi khó cho Anton.
The general pattern of this fourth game, 7 out of 10. Tough for Kallberg now.
3-7. Trận đấu tiếp theo sẽ là Wang Chu-Queen đối đầu với Wang Chu-Queen đối đầu với tay vợt Felix Lebrun.
Extra rotation, isn't it?
Chờ xem tay vợt Felix, tay vợt trẻ Felix sẽ phải làm gì để giải mã được Wang Chu-Queen. Chứ còn để Wang Chu-Queen cửa trên rất nhiều rồi.
When you're up against a fastball to think intelligently. You think intelligence is something you can only really show when you're calm, sat down at a desk. But in a game of this amount of speed, still able to think in that way on those lines is something that comes with basically having thousands of balls blasted at you by a world-class coach, to the extent that it becomes second nature.
14, cơ hội là không còn. Phải nói là không còn nữa.
Second match point. Scuttles that through, but Lin here a big huge surprise.
Tiếp theo về nước
These couple.
là Anton.
That was a kicker serve, but the aftermotion went down on it.
Yeah, strange one.
Anton, nếu như tôi nhớ không nhầm, cũng là tay vợt duy nhất của Thụy Điển tham dự giải đấu này.
With Lin Gaoyuan to try and get him over the line in this one.
Vâng, rất chắc chắn khi mà Lin Gaoyuan đã được Wang Hao gọi ra để hội ý, không cho ông Lin Gaoyuan này tự đánh nữa. Ông tự dưng ông lại làm ra thua, rất đau đầu.
Second match point here for Lin Gaoyuan. That time out. Has Anton Kallberg got any further fight back in him here?
Set. 10-6.
Vẫn còn 70, 17.
Anyone having a deja vu right now?
Two have gone, still three more here for Lin.
Vâng, 18. 19 thì là mệt mỏi đây.
Yeah, mine goes back, of course. I mean, in his career, it's been a few moments. We talked about how, you know, winning that star contender Bangkok was so useful for him in a final. These were in final situations, but you know, in general, his career when he's had multiple match points, he's still got two more here, Lin. Three have gone. Well, there's no further timeout opportunity here. Gaoyuan, more he can do really.
10 đều không? 10 đều rồi.
Lin
Gaoyuan ơi là Lin Gaoyuan. Lại 10 đều rồi. Điểm số cho Lin Gaoyuan. Một lần nữa cơ hội đến với Lin Gaoyuan.
We thought this kind of thing might be over for Lin Gaoyuan. He would have hoped probably more than anything else in his life that it would have been.
Sixth match point. It is this time.
Như vậy là chiến thắng cho Lin Gaoyuan. Lin Gaoyuan cố tình làm khó game rồi. Muốn cho khán giả được xem thêm đây. Không thể nào mà đánh như thế được. Như thế thì sớm muộn lại bị loại khỏi tuyển nữa thôi. Ngày mai tiếp tục